So, did I have a good reading month in November? The amount of books that I read, yes. The books that I read, not so much. Back with another reading wrap up for the month of November. I read 7 physical books, 1 Kindle read, and I listened to an audiobook. And it wasn't the best month. I did have 1 DNF. So yeah, let's get into it. First book that I finished was Queen Bee by Juno Dawson. I absolutely love the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. I've read the first 2 books. I think the next one is out next year, and this is a prequel. I did rate this one 3.5 stars. It went by really fast. I think I read it in about a day and a half. I really liked that this one went very far back into the past. We were dealing with Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, which I really liked that aspect of it. I don't tend to read many prequels or shorter books, but I am reading a bit more of them more recently. But for a prequel and a novella, I enjoyed it. It was quick, it was fun, and yeah, it got me even more excited for the next book in the series. Next one I finished, I was glad to be done with. This is the final book in the Mortal Instruments series. This one is City of Heavenly Fire. I have been putting this one off for a very long time. It has been on my shelves for ages. And I did enjoy this one. I think I rated this one 4 stars, but it wasn't giving final book, if that makes sense. I was expecting a little bit more. I expected more drama, that sort of thing. There was obviously drama and fight scenes and all that sort of good stuff that we expect from these books. But I guess when I finished it, it kind of felt like, oh, okay. So, but I am glad to be done with that series because I do have some other books within this world that I'm looking forward to getting started with. And I've been reading this series for so long. If you've seen any of my other videos talking about the series, you will have seen that I've been reading this one for about 2 years. So definitely glad to be done with this one. One we know was a DNF. I sadly didn't enjoy this one as much as I thought I did, which is frustrating because I did buy the second one to go with this one as well. It was a duology. But yeah, about 100 pages in, I did put this one down. I just didn't feel like it was going anywhere, and I wasn't really enjoying the characters and that sort of thing. And if I don't sort of connect with a main character, I intend to be put off completely. So yeah, sadly, this one was a DNF. Move on to the buddy read that I did with Kez and Shah, and that is Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. Again, I did have high hopes for this one. I think we rated this one 3.5 stars. It was just okay. I did find the main character a bit frustrating at times. She seemed very young, and I know that she was only 19 years old. However, in the off-campus series that Elle Kennedy has written, they are also young. They're like early 20s, and they seem a lot older. So I was sort of expecting that with this one. There was a sort of side story that went along with the main story in this one, and it was a bit of a mystery, and I really enjoyed those parts of it. I think I preferred those sort of pages more than the actual story itself. But I am glad that I read it because I will carry on reading Elle Kennedy because I just love her books usually. But sadly, this one just didn't live up for me, which is a shame. To another book that I did struggle with, which I was really frustrated with. I did push through and I did get to the end. Will I be picking up the second book in the series? I don't know. But that was Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. There was definitely certain aspects of this book that I did really enjoy. However, I found myself getting lost within the pages a couple times, and not in a good way. I felt sometimes that I was reading and it wasn't sort of going in, and at times I didn't even really know what was going on. But I did push through, but yes, I am yet to decide. I rated this one at 3.5 stars. I may pick up the second one, but I'm certainly in no rush to do so. On to a book that completely changed my reading of November. This fast became one of my favourites of the year. I absolutely fell in love with this book, and that was Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I really enjoyed the first 2 books that this author has written, and this one just was at the top for me out of them 2. I just completely fell in love with these characters. I loved Winifred so much, and she was just so funny and loving, and she'd had such a difficult time with like an ex-boyfriend, and then she meets Beau, and Beau is just absolutely perfect. Like, he is just goals. He is just so sweet and loving, and he's so funny, and I just completely fell in love with this book. It was an easy 5 stars. I couldn't put it down. It was one of those books where I found myself reading till like midnight at night because it was just amazing. Do yourself a favour, definitely pick up a book from this author because you won't regret it. Another book that has actually been very good as well. I did rate this one 4 stars. I was buddy reading this one with my sister Kez, and that was Those Girls by Chevy Stevens. This completely took me by surprise. Me and Kez have been talking about this one yesterday morning. We can't believe the turn that this one took. It definitely wasn't anything that we were expecting. We just thought it was going to be your typical sort of thriller, girl goes missing, that sort of thing. But it was completely different. It was about 3 girls who were having to completely change their lives to try and keep themselves safe. There was a bit of a change halfway through. We went from, I think it was 1995, and we jumped to 2050. No, might have been more than that. I think there's about an 18-year jump from the start to the finish, but we just loved it, and the ending was so good. It was really sad at times, and it was really stressful as well. There were certainly times where I was getting really concerned for certain characters, but we really enjoyed it. I think that if I wasn't buddy reading this one, I could have easily gotten this one done in a day because the pages were, like, the writing in the pages was massive. And it was just an easy read, but there was still, even though it was an easy read, there was still so much going on that completely kept me gripped. So definitely another good one for the month. Moving on to the audiobook that I finished this month, and that was this one by T.L. Swan. I have only ever listened to her books, and I absolutely love them. The voice characters are amazing. They do such a good job, and I just love the way that she writes her characters. I love that all of these characters are living within a cul-de-sac, so everybody knows each other's business, and yeah, I loved it. I love that the characters from the first book within this series are still so much involved in this one as well. So this one was an easy 5 stars. I have been listening to this one for a while because I think it's like 15, maybe 15 hours long. So I've been sort of listening to it in the car and on my walks and that sort of thing. So it has been taking me a while to get through this one, but I finally have, and I know I'm just going to be waiting ages for the next one in this series. And it ended up on such a cliffhanger as well, so I'm desperate for her to bring out the next one because I just cannot wait. Moving on to the last book, this was a Kindle read, and it was The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden. I have done a full review over on Terry's channel, so if you want to check that out, I will link her channel below so you can have a look at that. But I did really enjoy this one. The only other book that I'd read from Freida McFadden was The Housemaid, and as everybody else, I absolutely adored that book. It was just so good. I am going to be picking up the next one next year, I think. But this one was good. It was gripping. You know, there was some twists in there. I did unfortunately guess the ending, but I wasn't disappointed that I had. But yeah, overall really good. 4 stars. And I'm looking forward to reading more from her. There you have it. Those are all the books that I read in November. A very, not completely disappointing. Obviously, I did find a book that I absolutely fell in love with, and I did enjoy my audiobook as well. And Those Girls definitely surprised me. But I was just hoping for a bit more. Hopefully next month, well, we're in December now. Hopefully December will be better. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon with another video. Thanks. Bye.